Sohan is out for the start of the regular season. And what do we learn about the Spurs in the preseason play?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Monday. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're in the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for KS5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Hope you had a great weekend. And yeah, regular season starts this week. Can you believe it, Spurs fans? We'll cross that bridge later. But what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at the injury to Jeremy Sohan. He is out for the opening game versus Dallas. Talk about the ramifications of that, ripple effects, and then what do we learn about the Spurs in preseason play? All that and more right here on Locked On Spurs. As always, thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen every day. Free and available where we get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, KS5 Plus app, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe ASAP. You guys are the everydayers. Keep on being an everydayer right here on the Locked On Spurs, as well as the Locked On NBA, or just the Locked On Network. Why not? Subscribe to everybody. All right, so yeah, have you heard the news? Sohan is out. Suffered an injury during practice. We'll get into details in a bit. But what does this mean for the Spurs moving forward? What if he got the starting nod? Who's going to replace him? Or just who's going to get those minutes? We're going to be talking about that. And then maybe some big news about Locked On Spurs. But, we'll cross that bridge later on. All right, let's go to bring in our guest. He is back on a Monday, everybody. Casey Viera, my good friend. Be sure to follow him on X at Casey_Viera. And he's not on the IR list. I'm glad to see that. I looked at the list and I said, no, Casey Viera, he's good to go. Welcome back, Casey.
Yeah, one of the few right now. Piling up the Spurs and haven't even hit opening night yet.
I know. Can you believe it? It's already here, man. Just a couple more days and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready. You know my Raiders stat a lot. I was gonna say it might be time to dump. Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I didn't do weather. There you go. I didn't do weather. It might be time to part ways with the hat for a little while.
So everybody, Sohan is out to start the regular season. Why, you may ask? Well, let's get into it. The forward will miss the team's opening game versus Dallas on the road with a sprained left wrist that he suffered during practice last Wednesday. Recall, he's coming off an injured calf that he injured during practice with Team Poland over the season preparation for Eurobasket 25. So he's coming in banged up. All right. And ultimately, we never really got to see Sohan in preseason play. He didn't play, and now we're definitely not going to see him until a couple games later after the regular season. All right. So, Casey, man, talk about bad timing. You brought this up before we hit the record button here. You said, yeah, Sohan, not good considering you're in a freaking contract year.
Yeah, this is not how you start off a show me something type of season. And that's kind of what this year was. That's what this year was going to be for Jeremy, because going into restricted free agency at the end of his fourth year with San Antonio, they have the choice whether to extend him or not.
Absolutely.
That choice is a little bit bigger because they can match any kind of deal prospectively along the way this summer. So the ball's a little bit more in their court. But I think we're all kind of lying to ourselves if we say that Jeremy Sohan's future after this season is a given in San Antonio, especially after they draft Carter Bryant,
Right.
When you have Carter Bryant waiting in the wings to do something like that. So to me, from the jump, not only after the pick, but I think just by default of watching him play, it suggested that this year there was a lot that Jeremy needs to prove, that a lot more. And I think consistency being the biggest thing, a matter of finding something true instead of a bunch of things he does okay, which is largely the case. He does a bunch of things okay, but nothing really good to great. And I think this year is a matter of finding one of those things that he does, making it good and excelling that and fitting it in with Victor. And now, unfortunately for him, it feels like health is starting to be another one of the things that's been working against him, because we saw it last year as well. It's just kind of a bummer because these injuries that he did have, I don't want to say particularly that they were, I guess, out of his control. I don't know the full details of it, but I say out of his control in the sense that they didn't come in actual game action, right? Came in preps with Poland and he hurt his wrist in practice. This stuff didn't happen.
Yeah, in game or something. Yeah.
And I think that's probably, I don't know how Jeremy feels, but if I was in Jeremy's shoes, that would probably be the most frustrating part with me.
Yeah.
If I was going to go out there and tweak my calf, I want to go out there doing it, well,
Yeah,
me,
like-
if I'm out there on an NBA floor, I could do it.
Getting Gatorade on the sideline? That what you're probably doing?
Gatorade on the sideline,
Yeah.
and carrying the water jug, I would have put the cooler the wrong way and tweaked my wrist, But hey, at least if it was in game, I was closer to in practice. No, I would be frustrated on that front though, because none of this happened in game. It all just happened kind of that extra work.
Yeah. By the way, everybody, y'all be happy to know, and Casey's been giving me the business about this for a while now. I actually updated Sohan's photo here on Locked On Spurs.
There it is.
Remember the photos I had back when he was in college or something like that, or in high school?
You put one up the other day. I think maybe it was him. For the sake of the conversation, let's say it was him, because if it wasn't him, that would suggest there's more photos you need to update.
You have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it was him. It was in the background. Chetty Osman was still there.
No, I know what you're thinking of. I know. I have it here. Yeah, I have it here. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, there it is. I'm Nick Barlow.
We got Barlow and Osmond still on there, and Trey Jones in the background.
Trey Jones. I was gonna say, if you had Trey Jones pre-dreads, you would have really been in trouble. I can't tell who was that behind Barlow.
I can't tell either.
Can I brand him?
Maybe you see an N.
No, his hair looks too long. I can't.
No, I think it's Branham.
Is it?
I think it's Branham.
I mean, that year he was getting a lot more playing time.
Yeah.
At Wemby's first season.
Yeah.
I think that was Branham. But did Branham have a tattoo on his shoulder?
He has tattoos. He has tattoos everywhere.
We did. Yeah. So I guess that was.
But going back to that, yes, everybody, yes, progress. Hey, we're making progress here on Locked On Spurs. Big progress too. Right. You'll major hit there, everybody. But regardless, Sohan out. Okay, let's just say again, for sake of argument, he was going to get the starting job in the lineup, or let's just say who's going to take his minutes. How about that? We'll just say who's going to get those bulk of minutes. I'm leaning towards Julian Champagnie. I think Julian Champagnie will be the guy they're going to turn to in this situation. You're already down 2 guys. Why not bring in a floor spacer, whether in the starting role or off that bench, and give those Sohan minutes to a guy that they need and they kind of lack on the roster that is a long-range shooter. I think it just makes more sense. He doesn't get enough credit for his defense. He's a good defender. I don't say he's great, but he's good. And again, I think for me is that 3-shot. I think you give a guy that's going to spread that floor, give more space for Fox, Harper, Wemby to operate. I think you're good. I know Fox is out too, but my point is that I like Julian to pick up the slack while Sohan is out. Who do you like?
Oh well, going just the real point on Champagnie.
Mm-hmm.
I've been impressed with him.
Yeah,
and
me too.
this preseason, and I think going to the weekend he was close to. I know these are exhibition games, but he was the leading shooter in 3-pointers made in the preseason so far.
Correct.
Correct me. You can correct me, or somebody can correct me on that stat. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was close to the top. If he consistently is hitting a shot, is knocking down threes at a 40% plus rate, they're going to have a really hard time keeping him off the floor.
Yeah,
because they don't have that consistent shooting, and they're going to have a really hard time not putting him on the floor if they're if they're struggling offensively and a little one-dimensional and they can't get anything consistent from deep. He's going to find minutes. I know we say all the time, defense finds minutes. Well, offensive stagnation can also find you minutes too. And when you can help an offense like he does, I think he's putting himself into a very advantageous situation. So, again, good for him. We've always liked him and his grind to get up to this point. But to further your thought, I think it's just, I'll phrase this 2 ways. There's one, I think the answer would be in Harrison Barnes, just kind of by default of how it would work out in terms of getting those Jeremy minutes. I think that's the smoothest transition into it. But something that we saw a lot more in the preseason, and I don't know how committed they are to it, was that double big Wemby Kornet thing.
That could be interesting too. Yeah.
And if Sohan's injury leads to more minutes of that, I'm really intrigued. I don't know if that was kind of a one-off, and admittedly, I haven't paid close enough attention to, give a full, how many times Mitch has used that rotation in the preseason. But we did see it, at least in the infancy of it. It looked really cool. I don't, like I said, nice. I don't have the metrics of it to see if it actually worked, the advanced stats, and nor I don't think anyone probably would in the preseason.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it actually worked. At least from aesthetics point, it looked cool, and I think something perhaps they'll play with. I would like to think they'd play with a little bit more. We know Victor plays better at the 5, so that's a big complication wrinkle in it. But it's also a good option to have when you face a team like Cleveland comes off the top of the head with a double big type situation.
What I like in this situation, Casey, is that they're just stacked again with pretty good talent, and they're deep. They're deep. You lose Sohan for a while, and by the way, everybody, the Spurs did say it's not a long-term out for Sohan. They project that like within 2 to 3 games he'll be back, so he'll be back on the floor quick. But nevertheless, it's just proof that the Spurs are deep. You lose Sohan, well, you got a long-range sniper and a good defender with Champagne. You need a big. Fine, Luke, go out there, do your damage there. The list goes on. Keldon, you want to go back on the starting lineup, or do you want some more minutes? Perfect. I think it all just reflects just how deep this Spurs team is. And yeah, it sucks, for Sohan, and don't start off on the right foot. And then you do have at Fox, and then you're playing at Dallas. And Dallas, despite the Luka deal, they're still a good team. They're not bad. So hopefully the Spurs don't start off an L to the new season. All right, coming up next, what do we learn about the Spurs in the preseason play? Yeah, the good, the bad. We're going to discuss that and more right here on Locked On Spurs with Casey Viera. Follow him on X at Casey_Viera. Follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone.
Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to improve and move, whether you're running, lifting, cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you to plan, stay motivated, reach peak performance. You'll love how Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching, tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. Swivel screen is a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. Personalized class recommendations keep you engaged. You get workouts ready to your vibe and energy level each week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Hey, let's talk about Monarch Money. Most people can't name their financial accounts or even know what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And whether you don't have the full picture, you could end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch will help you. How about this? Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Hey, can you identify that you're not saving as much as you thought? Monarch can help you. They'll give you a notice of insufficient investment allocation and discover forgotten 401ks from past jobs. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate. You can easily review your finances with your partner or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. Look, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA.
Yeah, Casey didn't run away when he saw that nerd photo during the break. So he's still here. He's still here.
So I was going to say, someone's got new graphics. Look at that. Someone's got.
I so want to spill the beans when you just said that. Right now, we're going to still save it for a few more minutes, but yeah, things are improving here, as y'all saw. Nerd graphics, updated Sohan photos. What could be next? Find out in just a few minutes.
When you put that in the context of the other two in your book, that's probably like the third best thing.
He is Casey Viera. Make sure to follow my next at Casey_Viera. Yeah, and you want to follow him ASAP. Follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. As always, thank y'all for being a loyal watcher, listener of Locked On Spurs. All right, so the preseason is overdone. Spurs played pretty well in the preseason play. All things considered, minimal playing time to your stars. So no Fox, no Sohan, minimal Castle. I mean, the list goes on and on. Nevertheless, they played very well. So what did we learn, good or bad? And right off the bat, for me, Casey, one thing I learned is Vic looks like he's on a mission. Victor looks like he's ready to live up to that label of that all-time generational player. He's added some size. We saw flashes of him using that size during the scrimmage and during preseason play. He's not getting bullied out of the block anymore. He still wants to keep his teammates involved. And then you look at what we saw in media day or heard in media day to even on the court when he did play, he's a little bit more commanding. We heard on media day, you were there with me, Casey. He said, no, it's non-negotiable. My teammates, myself, we got to play defense. I like that on the court, putting up ungodly numbers at half. And he had like 20 plus points at a half in a preseason game. Still looking like the defensive beast that he will always be until he hangs it up. But the point is, I like this new beast mode, dare I say, Wemby. And I think the Spurs are going to rack up a lot of W's because I guess those Shaolin monks flipped the switch, hanging out with Kevin Garnett, flipped the switch, training with Hakeem Olajuwon, flip that switch. I like where Wemby's going, fully 100% healthy. Let's rock and roll. What do you think?
He's getting star calls too because one of those big dunks that he had in the league.
Yeah,
he traveled. It was an offensive foul.
I mean, he was still offensive foul. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was both. He got away with two. He got away with an offensive foul and he got away with a travel. But whatever. My concern with Victor going into the year was we had heard he was cleared, but we hadn't heard up until media day if he was going to play. And in my mind, there was a difference between cleared and game ready. Yeah. So up until media day, when we asked him and he said, he's like, yeah, I'm good to go. I was skeptical as to what exactly that meant. I was concerned because I know how the organization works with injuries. They make sure guys are, and in this case, they needed to be even more so. Right. They needed to make sure Victor was 150% healthy. So once we got the clear on that, once we learned that he was going to be playing, I was definitely interested. Plus, factor all those things that you said, him eating a little bit more and putting on a little bit more weight. It's scary. It's scary to think that this could theoretically just be the beginning. I know we say all these things, so many cliche. I think we say and we praise Victor on the show a lot. San Antonio does a lot. The man can do no wrong. Right. We get that. I get it. But I think for me, sometimes when you actually see him do it, it just doesn't compute half the time.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
the things are doing that he's doing that. The other day,
I'm actually getting numb to it now. I'm thinking like if Casey, if you're to tell me after a game, looks like I missed it, you're like, hey Jeff, Wemby dropped a quad dub. I'll be all right.
Yeah. Here you go, and I'm going to piggyback off that point because it was it was before the open scrimmage, and I was standing there and I was at shoot around, and I was behind the basket, and he was loosening up, and like you said, we've become so numb to the anomaly that he is, and then it wasn't until standing shoulder to shoulder, essentially with him. That actually, funny story. He actually almost kind of ran me over because he, how when he goes back into the tunnel, he likes that and goes into dead sprint, and so, so he ran shoulder to shoulder by me, and so if he wasn't paying attention, that would have been a wrap for me. But, but it's sometimes you see when you get as close as that, when we're privileged to, have opportunities like that to see that, you're just reminded like how much of a just genetic freak this dude is. Just an absolute genetic freak. We see it on time and we get numb to it. We see him do this crazy stuff and we get numb to it because we see it just about every night. But then there's times when you're reminded of it when you're standing next to him and you see him on the floor and you see him standing next to like Harrison Barnes, who's a big guy. He's 6'8", 200, probably what, 20, 40?
Yeah, you're a big dude.
I don't, yeah, you know, he's a big dude and he towers over him. And I think this year it's to get back on the track a little bit more. I think this year there's just such an added dynamic. I know I don't want to say he's confident in himself. And I still feel at times the language barrier makes him sound, if there is a language barrier there, you know, in terms of just casual conversation, that's probably the better way to phrase it. I think he comes off as, some people view him as like super cocky, you know. Man, it's just hard not to buy into a guy who's consistently betting on himself and doing these ridiculous things and not believing that he's going to fulfill them even more than he already has. And this preseason has been a reminder of that. If he's out there, he's saying on a mission, he's looking for blood, and not as literal terms, though. Though it wouldn't surprise me if he actually said that one day. I mean, I'm buying in. I don't think that's just him talking tough anymore. Yeah, it's just like this is the preseason. This man was playing like he was in, a month deep into the playoffs. I think this is a different breed that's coming this year. I really do. I really do. And the fact that he's healthy, which was my big concern, and hopefully that concern just stays with me, and that because it has become the concern of everybody. Hopefully it stays that way. It's a different animal that's on its way. Whether that translates, how much, I don't know. It can theoretically it only translates to good things in the win-loss column. But this is he's back. He's healthy.
He's back. He's healthy. All right. So what else did we learn about your Spurs in the preseason, I should say? We're going to talk about that and more coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs.
The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You'll love FanDuel because it's just fits everything you need. You can build a same-game parlay, do player props, jump into live action as the action unfolds. Make every moment more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. Quick, easy, the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. Cowboys have started their season. Texans are starting their season, so might as well jump on FanDuel right now. You ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
Yeah, let's talk about game time. Basketball season is officially here. Nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real. Getting tickets can be a total headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right out before checkout. Hey, it's easy to get frustrated when it's all you want to do is just cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in. The app gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets, fast, easy, and free. You can use the Game Time app to grab seats for your San Antonio Spurs. It'll be simple. You can get the great seats in minutes. You'll love what you see because there are no hidden fees at checkout. You can even look exactly at your view before you even buy the tickets with their in-app seat view feature. Their zone deals are a game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks your seats, and you say big. You can even find NBA tickets for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go.
I am Megatron. Do not fail me and subscribe to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Casey Viera. He is back, everybody. Not on the injured list. Yeah, definitely on our.
I like that Spidey one you just put up there.
You did? You like that one? Yeah.
Good.
That was a good one. Yeah. Shout out to Rhino SATX on X. he's making these for me. So that's probably him right now calling.
I was going to say,
like, hey, like play some more. Let's talk about what we did learn about the Spurs in the preseason. So we put the highlight on Victor. It's obvious he looks like a beast mode, as I mentioned. Other thing I learned is, oh man, Dylan Harper might be special. He might be special. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star in the rookie year or anything like that, but would not be surprised if he's making Mitch Johnson and the coaching staff really think about upping his minutes, making him being the sixth man in his rookie season, from the slashing to the left-handed finishes to the three-point shot that he hit, attacking that rim, scoring around the rim. This kid is looking really nice. What do you think?
I talked about my concern with Victor's health.
Yeah,
I was even more so concerned about Dylan Harper's, because at media day he wasn't for
Right.
photos, for pictures, he wasn't dribbling the ball with his left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
Here
when
we
is
go.
this guy going to take the floor if he can't even dribble the ball with his left hand on a picture day? When is he
Picture day, he said.
on picture day of all days? They don't have him, and whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. From an optics standpoint, I thought that tattoo on his inner arm said Wawa, and I was like, that's the most New Jersey thing ever.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I did not realize that.
I thought that said Wawa. I was like,
I haven't been to a Wawa even when I was living in Michigan. There's some few Wawas in Michigan.
I was like, you want to let him know that you went to school in Jersey? There you go.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's another guy I underestimated because the health concerns, and I didn't know how much we would see him. But whether it's the chicken or the egg, whether it's Victor looks good or he's Victor's byproduct of him looking good, he looks good and he fits.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like even on the De'Aaron Fox thing, because we've seen such a little sample size, and obviously we've seen a little sample size with Harper, it just feels that there hasn't no point guard has fit with Victor.
Mm-hmm. Just
consistently. If you want to call Steph a point guard somewhere, I'm not calling him that. I'm calling him somewhere in the middle. But if you want to, that just from a fluidity standpoint, I guess even Fox, you know what? I'll just say it. He even looked more fluid than what De'Aaron Fox was doing. That might have been in part because Harper's a rookie, and so he was deferring to Wemby a little bit more, and maybe he's a little bit more truer to the title of the facilitating aspect of the point guard position. But he just looks so smooth. It looked like
he does
smooth transition. And how that finding minutes with a lot of depth is that, and I don't think it's applicable entirely to Fox, Harper, Castle, because I think they'd find a way to make it work anyways. But for the sake of the conversation, you never know. Finding when you have talent behind you, it puts pressure on you to get your job done. Because if you don't, the guy behind you, it's a competent basketball player at minimum. And if that competent basketball player, who is pretty much on your same kind of wavelength in all likelihood, has a chance to show that their talents can accelerate above yours, you're gonna lose minutes. You're gonna lose minutes. And I don't think the 3-guard trio would be kind of in that conversation a little bit, but we're probably lying to ourselves if Stephon Castle doesn't look at that and be like, all right, I got to up my game.
Yeah.
The guy behind me,
he's coming. Yeah.
He's coming. I got to step up. I got to take my game to another level. De'Aaron Fox, probably not in that conversation because of that paycheck that he's getting in the future. I don't think he's going anywhere and doing that, but hopefully that kind of motivates him to take that next step and realize that, hey, the guy's behind me. He's right there.
You know? Yeah. And there's that guy behind him.
Nobody's safe in this world. You never know what happens. You know,
and there he is.
I better show up. Exactly. If the guy behind me is something serious, I better show up, because nobody, while I feel safe, I just got paid. Nobody's safe. I don't want to say nobody's safe, because
no, I know. Unless your name is Wemby. I mean, but even that.
You know, after Luka, I don't even know anymore.
Exactly.
But you know what I'm getting at.
I know where you're getting at. Yeah.
Nobody's safe. And
Nobody's
if you have that competition behind you and a team sees that the guy behind you can offer as much as they do, to a point that the betterment of their franchise is to invest more in him, whether it's just a little bit from an X's and O's or a lot from beyond X's and O's, it puts pressure on everybody else to step things up. And I think that's an underrated aspect to whether or not this team excels or not, is that they have to realize that there's a level of accountability behind them, because most of the guys behind them are at that same talent level.
Yeah.
And I think that could be the difference in a lot of the rotation. We were talking about Champagny. Like, if Champagny goes out there and plays well and they find some real sensible minutes and he fills a void and he does things that Jeremy doesn't do, Jeremy's not going to, and they're winning games, Jeremy's going to lose time just by default. Like, Jeremy's going to lose minutes. He's going to lose minutes because if they see a guy out there they need shooting for where they're at schematically, and they feel like they're getting by on all the other fronts defensively without Jeremy, things like that. And they're like, we need to space the floor a little bit more. We can get by with average defense from Champagny just because of what he can do to space the floor. Jeremy is susceptible to losing minutes, especially when he's been banged up anyways.
Yeah.
So point being, roundabout way, is that I think the level of depth, it's a good thing. And it also puts pressure on the guy to be on.
It's definitely it's definitely a motivating factor for sure. That Harper looks like might be ready sooner than later for the NBA stage. He's going to take his lumps. He's going to be taught many lessons. Luka's probably going to eat him alive. It happens. Luka eats everybody alive. But my point is that he's going to come into his own really quick. I think what I always got a kick out of, I remember I asked Victor Wembanyama one time about rookie Steph Castle, and the first thing he told me was he got it faster than I did, this NBA game. He said, Victor told me, it took him about 2/3 of a season to finally understand it. Victor's opinion, he said it only took him like a few months. So there was that. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Harper is on that trajectory as well. One other thing that I did learn in preseason play is I'm loving some Cornett and Wemby. I think there is
French
something
vanilla,
there.
baby. Let's go.
I think that, you know what? That's a great nickname, French vanilla. French vanilla right there. That combo is something. I think if the Spurs want to go big against, let's say, a Denver, they got the man to do it. Just pair up with Wemby. And they play in preseason play, they were very synergistic off of one another. The high-low pass, Wemby to Cornett. You saw Wemby just thrilled to see a fellow big man get an and one, and you see it in the background just like smiling and laughing at Cornett as Cornett is flexing for the camera. This guy that the Spurs picked up, a lot of Spurs fans were like, oh, man, that was a lot of pennies to give him. But I think it was just a good investment. I like what I've seen out of Cornett, the hustle, the rebounding, the scoring around the basket. He's already flowing with the Wemby. If he starts alongside Wemby, great. Take Cornett, you take Joker. Cornett, you take Embiid. Let Wemby feast. Twin Towers 2.0, maybe. I don't know. Some remains to be seen. But there is something here. But the point is whatever French vanilla, I like what I'm seeing. The Spurs got something good here. They got quality big men now. Really good depth at that position. And not to mention, they still have Olynyk, who didn't play in the preseason, and worst case scenario, Bismack, who played admirably last season when Victor was out. But nevertheless, this Cornett Wemby combo, I love it. Casey, your thoughts?
I'm still looking at it. So
he's doing the investigation.
Hopefully by the end of the show, it comes up.
Okay.
I hope. I talked about it at the top. I hope it from an eye test standpoint.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. From a win-loss schematic standpoint, sustainability, I'm not sure how sustainable it is. But if it is sustainable and is producing, like, okay, in that front court, those are obviously Victor. Those are two very effective big men, at least one of them. I know Cornet's a big shot blocker, but I think you're in a spot where, again, if you're facing a team theoretically like Denver, theoretically like Cleveland, maybe more physical teams like Houston, though they'll probably beat you with their athleticism by putting Durant at the 4 a little bit more. And you're kind of leaving. No, but you know what? Now that I say that, because you could probably put Wemby on like KD. That was not that it's going to lock him up because it's KD.
No,
but, you know, at least from a schematical standpoint, there's going to be situations where they need to go double big. And
Hey, would you?
I guess he gets paid for the schematical fit with Wemby. That's what I see. Why he got that $40 million contract.
Yeah.
And if he does things like that and they see a world that it works, it's a nice, I don't think it's a long-term sustainable answer type of deal, but is it a nice alternative to have when the situation calls? Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. I don't trust Cornett
Yeah.
at the starting 30 minutes a night for the whole season, but I do trust Cornett to offer a nice alternative option to go double big.
Yeah. By the way, Casey, how long do I have this photo of him in a Celtics jersey for 2 seasons before I update it?
You see, the thing is, he's played a whole preseason now. You know,
I know. Yeah. There's so many photos, stock photos of him, but no, I pull up the one in the Celtics jersey. There you go.
You have no excuse. I mean, July right now you have no excuse. Yeah,
I got it. Yeah.
Derek White is there too.
It'll be draft night. All right. Well, last season the Spurs picked up Cornett a big, and then this draft, and Cornett shows up in the Spurs jersey.
Vanderbilt jersey.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The point is that the Spurs, they were winning a lot of games in the preseason. Casey and I, we get it. It was preseason. We understand. But if you want to read the tea leaves and some positive stuff that they can take into the game versus Dallas this week, there's a lot there. The Cornet, the French vanilla connection, you know, definitely is there something there. Casey's not too so. There's a lot of stuff to like about the Spurs, from Harper's play, from Wemby looking like he might be in beast mode, and he looks like he is. Again, to the Cornet Wemby kind of, and there's so many other things, you know. And again, remember this team played in the preseason not at full power. No Fox, minimal Castle, no Sohan, no Olynyk. We didn't even get to see what he can bring to the team. The point is, this team is raring to go this Wednesday night in Dallas. So we've been kind of dancing around our giddiness, I guess, about Locked On Spurs, and I teased it last week, Casey, in the Friday show. I said, "Oh, Locked On Spurs is growing. Locked On Spurs is growing." I left it at that. But there's a game in a couple of days that we need to talk about, that Spurs at Dallas game, because let me set it. I'm going to set Casey up. All right. So I've been doing this for I'm pushing a decade already, I think. And it's always been difficult for me to immediately do post-game shows because why? I'm at the game, you know, and Casey, you know how it is. It's 2 minutes before the final buzzer. Everybody rushes down the media room. You know, by the time the players come out, by the time they let the people into the workroom and the locker room, I should say, you know, it's pushing midnight. It's nearly impossible for me. And yeah, so I always wanted that element in there. Luckily, the people at the Locked On NBA Network kind of an idea here. And the guy you're seeing on screen, yeah, he's a part of this. Casey, what is going on? How are you going to be helping out the Locked On Spurs brand here, the anchor show here?
So, got to clear my voice. This is an important announcement. Yeah. So, starting Wednesday and every game the rest of the way, maybe into the postseason, who knows?
Cross your fingers.
The Locked On Spurs podcast umbrella is going to be having post-game shows. They're going to be called postcasts. 15, 20 minutes. The second that final horn sounds, you want to turn into the Locked On Spurs channel, we'll be right there. I say we because there's more than one person. And as Jeff alluded to, it's not going to be Jeff. He's busy. He's at the games. He doesn't, he's got things to do. There's going to be one more person. That person is one of the biggest names on the San Antonio sports scene at a local level to the collegiate level and an NBA champion. We're going to be joined. It'll be myself and former Spur, UTSA Hall of Famer, San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer, Devin Brown. We will have you covered. Yes, we're very excited to have him about. Obviously a mainstay on this scene for so many years at the high school level. Again, UTSA, probably the greatest player in the history of the program. Exactly. We're excited to bring that dynamic analysis every game for you. An exciting time, obviously, for the organization, to analyze it, and it's an exciting time for the Locked On Spurs brand itself. I know that I'm elated to be officially a part. I've always felt like I'm indirectly a part of the umbrella. So we're excited to do that. And in addition,
there's more, everybody. Wait, there's more, as they say. There's more.
There's more. So twice a week, starting next week, it'll be myself, Devin, and Jeff. We will be collaborating for the Spurs squad show. And what it'll be is an hour-long pod, essentially, hour-long show that you can check in YouTube, all those places that you do all those things such, and just recapping and collaborate and talking about what's on our minds, and just kind of our way to give you more consistent content that you want to hear at a time that people want to talk a lot about this franchise. The Locked On Spurs podcast, or Locked On Podcast Network, they have shows everywhere. We're the first NBA show to be doing this, NBA channel to be doing this. So it speaks to their expectations, their high expectations, and it speaks the network, what they anticipate, and it speaks to what their viewpoint of the Spurs is, and individuals' interest, and you guys at home's interest. And so I think on a lot of respect, we owe. I'm glad I get to say this in the sense of we, because it was, it's all, like I said, I've always felt indirectly a part of the show, but now, I'm on the team. So to say, we've always appreciated your engagement, your enthusiasm. I think Jeff would echo that sentiment. He's been a part of it a lot longer than I have. So you guys made something like this possible. I think I could speak for Jeff as well. You guys put the wheels in motion for this. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think Jeff would appreciate it. I'm assuming he is. Never know with him. He does. And so I'm really looking forward to get this thing going this weekend.
The first post-game Spurs show will happen after the Dallas game on the road this upcoming Wednesday. So make sure you tune in to that show. It'll be with Casey and Devin. And of course, all three of us are probably interchanged. If life happens, who knows? Maybe I might show up on a post-game show, or and Devin will do it. Or if it's a roundtable show, maybe sometimes Devin can't make it. But the point is, or maybe you might see Devin appear here on the anchor show, Locked On Spurs. Who knows? The point is, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck in essence. And everybody, I've always wanted Casey to join the Locked On Spurs show, or at minimum, the Locked On Network in some capacity. Whether there was a job opening or a host had to leave a show, I would always let Casey know, Casey, Locked On fill in the blank show needs a host. And I've always wanted him to be a part of it. Locked On Spurs was always on the radar too. And it could have happened. But it looks like Casey's going to get his own little slice of the pie here now, and Devin as well, here at Locked On Spurs. So they'll have their own show, and then all three of us will come together twice a week for a live show. I don't think I've ever done a live show on Locked On Spurs, ever.
That's why I said they might scrap the whole thing if it goes bad.
So, and by the way, everybody, just for clarification, Casey will be hosting the post-game shows, and Casey will be hosting the roundtable squad shows. All right, just a heads up on that. All right. So he'll be
view it, I guess, kind of as more shows under the Locked On Spurs umbrella. And like just said, Jeff said, the squad shows are just the collaboration of all of our efforts.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing's happening, nothing's happening with the Monday through Friday crowd. If there's a crowd that checks in and every time they see that I'm on, they click right past this episode,
Yeah.
don't worry.
Exactly.
This is still all Jeff all day. I mean, maybe I'll check in every now and then, like you said. But this is still everything that Jeff's been doing. So this ain't changing. This is just in addition.
Yeah, it's an addition. Yeah.
The great stuff
Exactly.
that Jeff's been doing for you.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to send out an invite to Devin Brown to come on the Anchor Show, the Locked On Spurs Show. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see Locked On Spurs grow. I'm actually one of the founding fathers here at Locked On NBA Network. So I think it was only about 10 of us ish. So good to see that it's growing. All right, so there's your big news again. Now you can follow Casey on X because he's part of the Locked On NBA Network / Locked On Spurs now. So there we go. Sure, now I can say my colleague, Casey Viera. Make sure to follow him on X at Casey_Viera. And then Casey,
I guess colleague again.
So Casey Viera is joining the Locked On Spurs family, as well as Devin Brown. And I definitely do got to get Devin Brown on here just so he can introduce himself, and formally versus a 20-minute recap. Okay, we got to go by, thing, So hopefully Devin will come on here and talk a little bit more Spurs with me at a longer length. How's that?
And he's really expanded. I know. Part of the reason he's excited to do this because over the past few years he's really expanded his and I'm glad he has because he's very talented and knowledgeable about the game. And there are few people who can speak about not only the Spurs but San Antonio. And I think that's the difference with what he offers. There's guys who can say, "Oh, we played in San Antonio, we liked it, we loved it, we loved the Spurs organization, the people." He grew up here, played in college here,
lived it,
lived in a family of Spurs fans. So this guy is San Antonio, bleeds this city through and through since day one. And very few guys have been able to live that career path. Win at that level, play with outside of San Antonio. The guy played with just about everybody. LeBron, Paul, the young Derrick Rose. And I know for me, that's one of the real exciting parts of getting to work with him is to pick his mind and hear some of these things that probably not a lot of people know. And a lot of perspectives that people don't get. And I think getting involved with a homegrown talent on this program, a guy who is equally energetic and ambitious to reach the viewer and engage with you all. And now that he has a platform to do that, I'm really excited to do that. And I know he is as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited for that. I'm looking forward to seeing how Casey and Devin do after the game versus Dallas. And of course, again, if there's something that comes up and I need to come in a pinch, I'll show up to help out Casey or Devin. Maybe Casey can't make it, or something. In other words, we have your back. We'll have your back ultimately. And looking forward to that first roundtable show. I don't think that was going to be fun.
That's going to be good.
Yeah, that was going to be fun. That one I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah.
And also looking forward to not having to edit as well.
Welcome
to my world, buddy. Welcome to my world.
When this was first pitched to Jeff, it was like, oh no, that's 2 more edits I got to do. And then I was like, nah, those are my edits, my production. It's like, all right.
Yeah. It's Casey's show. So we'll leave it at, awesome. So again, looking forward to that this Wednesday right here on Locked On Spurs. You can get those post-game shows on YouTube, iTunes, Kens 5. Well, I don't know about the Kens 5 Plus app. I think that needs to be worked out. But at least the YouTube and the iTunes. But yeah. I don't know if they're going to migrate these onto the Kens 5 Plus app. But the point is you get Locked On Spurs on the Kens 5 Plus app. So keep on subscribing there. And again, YouTube's probably your best bet. Just go on YouTube, search Locked On Spurs, hit subscribe, become an everydayer right here on Locked On Spurs. Casey, thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here because you're about to get more busy soon in a few days. So good luck to you, and I always have your back there in case you need me. Everybody else, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kens 5 Plus app, YouTube. So many ways to subscribe. Do that right now. Become an everydayer. We'll be back tomorrow as the regular season is right around the corner. It's right there. I can see it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Dallas Spurs this Wednesday on the road. We'll get you ready for that game. So for my new colleague, my colleague again,
Again.
Can't get rid of him. I can't get rid of this guy. I can't. He is Casey Viera, and I am Jeff Garcia, and we're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.